I'm so Hollywood, lights, camera, action. You know the cameras flashing when I'm passing.
Welcome to the Highlight Reel. I am your host, Lester Green.
And I'm Nas Tanky.
And today we have a wonderful show with some incredible guests. We got Cylk Cozart, who is an incredible actor, director, producer. He's got an incredible documentary called Inherit the Land that's coming out. And we have the lovely Lorayn DeLuca, who is a photographer. She does everything. She's an actress, a producer. She does a little bit of everything. So welcome them to the show.
I'm not saying you need to embrace your magical gifts.
You haven't.
Huh. I deserve that. But the reason I nag you is because I want you to love who you are, not feel like it's a curse.
So welcome Cylk Cozart and Lorayn DeLuca to the Highlight Reel.
Hi. Hello, everybody.
Great to be here.
Yes, awesome. Thank you. Yeah.
Great to have you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How's everybody doing? How are you guys holding up with this whole pandemic?
We're doing good. I'm doing good. I'm doing the best I can. I'm been a maniac around the house, cleaning things, organizing things. I think I did, I put up the leaf filter on my gutters. I put in an irrigation system. I put in landscaping lights, and I put in a whole house water filter. These are the things that I've been wanting to do for so long. And finally, I'm home enough because I have my film studio at home, so I could work and then run out and do these things. I finally had the time to concentrate on the home, which is, you know, our beautiful place that we love to go to, right?
Yeah.
Wonderful,
What about you, Cylk?
wonderful.
I think you're in Tennessee, right?
Yes, I'm in Tennessee, and I'm just taking care of, make sure my mom's all right. You know, I got her here.
Right.
And, you know, through all this stuff, you know, it's very, a lot of people are scared. So I want to make sure she's comfortable. And then I work. Then work starts.
I like that.
That's
Well,
awesome.
Family first, always family first. Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially
Well,
our moms. Especially our moms.
Yes, especially
yeah.
moms. That is right. That is correct.
Yeah, I'm a huge mama's boy, so I
Me
respect.
too.
Right?
It's okay.
Yeah. But you know what, Cylk? I was reading up on you, and I feel like my life mirrors yours in a sense, because I was watching how great you were of a basketball player. I didn't realize, I thought it was just a movie, so obviously you were White Man Can't Jump. And normally most basketball players who are acting aren't as good, but boy, can you talk to us about just your great ability to play basketball? I saw one picture where you were getting ready to dunk the basketball. I mean, you were like off the ground.
Well, it was when I had little younger legs.
Yeah, I know.
But, you know, I look at it like most kids that grow up, especially in America, you know, you gravitate toward a sport, and basketball kind of was my thing. And I thought as I got older, and I got in this business, well, if somebody saw me play basketball, they might put me in a basketball movie. And it's kind of what happened. So it really, and it taught me, you know, how to deal with groups of people that you might not meet other than playing in a basketball game,
Sports,
you know, from other countries. You learn how to get along. You learn business in a way, to a certain extent.
Yeah.
So it helped me a lot. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I am just fascinated with your documentary, Inherit the Land. Can we talk about that?
Oh, Lorayn, let Lorayn go first, because I mean, we both are just so excited about it. And so go ahead, Lorayn.
All right. So, I mean, so excited. Wait till you see this documentary. We have a trailer that Cylk and Jim Johnson shot. Jim Johnson is the producer. I'm co-producing. Cylk is directing. And this was taken from Gene Stow's book. it's an amazing love story about Blacks and whites, right? And how a tiny town in Marvin, North Carolina, showed people how to do the right thing to get along. So I think that this movie, right, is going to educate people and give them a sense of heart and say, we can do this, guys. I mean, come on, we could do this and get it done. I first heard about Jean's book through the Union County Arts Council, which I'm a member of. And I said, oh my God, I was reading it and I said, I've got to reach out to Jean, which I did. And Jean said, let's go have coffee. We met at the coffee shop. He lives in my town. So it was really great. We got together and we couldn't stop talking. And it was like over an hour later and you're laughing because you know. So, right. We got along so great and we were feeding off of each other. And Jean said, Lorayn, I love your energy. I love that positivity that you have and how you love this story. So he says, you got to meet Cylk and you got to meet Jim, you know? So that's how it all started. Cylk and Jean came out last year about this time, and we went to the historic courthouse in Monroe, where this actually all took place centuries ago, really. And we met there and we all bonded. I mean, Cylk is just quite a guy, as you could tell. And he really is. I felt like I knew him before. I knew him forever. And Jim too. He knows how to put people there. As soon as I met, did you meet Cylk? Did you come over here, do this, do that, right? He puts people together, gets things. That's why he makes a great producer. So they recruited me to come on board, and I never looked back. I've been working ever since to get financing and looking at the casting. Because we want to do this documentary and we want to film it here where it was, where it's a true story where it took place. And then we want to make a multi-picture deal, multi-million-dollar picture, right? A feature film that we're looking forward to. And then we'll have all the scenes in there that we want. But this documentary is going to wet your whistle on what you're going to want to see.
Yes. I want to say that I love that. I was reading it, and because of where I grew up in the South Bronx at a time where everyone in my neighborhood was either Black or Hispanic, and the white people were really in high position. So it was after reading this woman, Maggie Ross, right? She's just amazing, because she went against the grain of what was the norm that was happening during that time. Correct. And she took in this family and she didn't see color. She saw love, correct? So she opened her door, her life, provided this family with the same education, right, and privilege that everyone else had. And it seems like, and I'm not sure what, but it seems like everyone grew up with the same privilege on the same kind of playing field. It wasn't one person that's more higher, I guess, with class. It wasn't a high class, lower class, middle class. We're all in the same class. So I don't think there was, maybe I'm wrong. It seems like from what I read, it wasn't one group that was looking down on the other. And I was just reading that and saying, wow, what if we could do that? What if we could all be the same class? We can get past the color, but we can see each other as equals and on the same class. Like there's no one with their nose up looking down at someone else.
Exactly.
Because it seems like that's what she did. And if we could all do that, that would just be wonderful. So congratulations to your trailer. Congratulations on your documentary. I'm just going to say congratulations on your feature in advance. Advance. And I can't wait to see it. I'm excited. Sorry. That's okay. I'm excited.
You know what? One of the things that drew me to this incredible story was that at the turn of the century, during Jim Crow era, where it was illegal for Black people to inherit or own land. And these two white women in this small town in Marvin did not see that. They didn't see the slavery issue. They didn't treat people different. They couldn't have children of their own. So they kind of adopted this little girl and her father they worked for them. They weren't slaves, you know. And I asked a few of the gentlemen that were there when they were kids. There's one 97-year-old man, Lorayn, you remember him when we interviewed him.
Yes.
And I said, you know, I was trying to play like, you know, I was really like, didn't know much about it. I said, so when you were growing up, did just black people, you know, pick cotton? He goes, oh no. He said, we all pick cotton. He said that was no racial thing. We played with each other. We didn't think nothing about it. And these two ladies were the wealthiest people in North Carolina, basically. So the banks would borrow money from them. So they had chips. So nobody could like argue with them, or they would look at them walking down the street with this little black girl in hand, they'd buy her whatever she wanted because they treated her like she was her family. It didn't matter.
Yes.
And so to me, that's a lesson that we can learn, because all the other people that were come to visit, they would probably talk and all that, but the people there, they went to church together. It was no big deal. You're talking about 1900, late 1800s going into 1900. So that I want America and the world to see that these people existed. All black people didn't pick cotton. Everybody wasn't slaves. White people didn't treat black people like that. Everybody needs to see this just because of that alone.
Wow. Absolutely.
Incredible.
And Gene Stoll makes an incredible, he weaves our emotions throughout the historical facts that are just like today. And it shows that we have much more in common than we ever will apart, that we don't have in common. That's why I wanted to, and I love directing projects that mean something. I mean, I could do, you know, basketball stuff, I could do the, you know, special effects, but this really, to me, is like leaving something for your family, you know, legacy. It's a real legacy. I mean, I love White Men Can't Jump. It was fun. I have great friends still from that, and it has its place. So does Inherit the Land.
Yes. Wonderful.
So I feel like you're the kind of person who really takes his craft very seriously. And I wanted to ask you about the whole Marvin Gaye stamp and getting him on the stamp. What provoked you to make that happen, or even to try to make something like that happen? That doesn't sound like something that just anybody would try to do. Can you talk to us about what motivated you to do that?
Sure, briefly. I wanted to, like a few other actors, wanted to play Marvin Gaye at some point in a story about Marvin Gaye. Not realizing how difficult that might be, of getting rights and all the music is like, and I realized very quickly, you can't do a Marvin Gaye song without the Marvin Gaye music, and the music was tied up. But in the interim, I met Ollie Woodson, who was a singer for the Temptations, and he said, you can't do a Marvin Gaye story without meeting Frankie Gaye. I said, who was Frankie Gaye? He said, Marvin Gaye's brother. I said, Marvin Gaye had a brother. So he introduced me and Frankie. Frankie had went to Vietnam. The whole album of What's Going On was because of his brother Frankie went to Vietnam. It was and told him how horrible the war was. And that's why that beautiful album became like the most beautiful masterpiece in music history. But that gave me motivation. And once I realized from a business point of view, instead of just an actor wanting to play a role, it became into a producer. And Barry Gordy brought me to LA in the very beginning anyway, because I was going to do a movie called, not Enter the Dragon. Oh God, what was it? Anyway, it was one of their first movies that Motown was going to do. I think it's called The Last Dragon.
Oh, The Last Dragon.
It was with Vanity. And
he's coming back.
Sorry about
there
that.
He is. Okay,
me?
it's okay.
Yeah, sorry. Okay.
No worries.
They flew me out, and we did a Vanity, and I did a screen test, and Suzanne DePass said they look like brother and sister on camera. Well, that was it. That was the end of that one, But that brought me into the Motown family. So ever since then, I've been just infatuated with how Marvin lived. We know how he died. So when I met his brother Frankie, he told me how they grew up together, and he was in the house right next to Marvin when his father shot him. So you don't get closer than two brothers. Wow. So when I found that out, and Frankie died, I helped bury him. And he told me things that no one knows. And I'm going to make the film at some point because it's an original.
Yeah.
It's anybody, you know, you can do a movie about a public figure, you know, because it's public domain, but how many times are you going to do it from the brother's point of view?
Yeah.
So,
That's right.
you know, who lived with him.
And I would love to see that. I would love to see more. He was my hero. I mean, I wore out that album over and over and
Well,
over
he was
again
the
in my
first
room.
one. He was the first one to put his lyrics. He wanted to put his lyrics on the album. And Barry Gordy goes, "What are you doing?" He goes, "So my fans can sing along, know the words." And you know, he put his friends as background singers on there. You know,
yes. Well, you know, even that today, what's going on? That
Same
is
thing.
today. That's why I think that you're doing that film is going to be perfect for today, because what's going on? What's going on in the world? And we've got to bring, you know, the education out, and I think let people know more about the history and about people and about our hearts that are all the same, and our emotions, and that we are more of the same than different.
Yes.
I mean,
how about if we start from that point instead of starting where we're different? You know, you don't like this. I like. What about, hey, where are you from? You might know some of the same people. Your parents might know some of the same people. I mean, what a great place to start from, no matter about partisanship, you know?
Yeah.
We're humans. We ain't got much time on this planet.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, and I see, I think I see a theme also, Cylk. The theme between the Marvin and Inherit the Land and these things, and you were talking about basketball and getting into film. It's really what you think. What you think. You ever heard of thoughts become things?
Yeah.
Right? Thoughts become things. Be careful what you say, they come true, right?
Yeah.
So I think, and I believe that totally. I monitor my mind all the time, because the mind is where it comes from. It comes from the heart. And then it comes to the mind, and then what you think and what you believe, I believe the vision can come to reality if you take action. You can't just have a dream and then believe it. You've got to dream it, believe it, and then take action. And if you're persistent with that, I truly believe that it comes true. You know, and you're a perfect example of that, and so am I. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so is millions of others that are going to be watching, because we're all connected. We're all so connected.
Yes.
So what were you going to say? I'm sorry.
Okay.
Oh, no, I was going to ask you about, or Lorayn, I was going to ask Lorayn about her Heir of the Witch, where she plays this evil character because she's so vibrant and bright,
sweet.
And I wanted to find out, what was it like trying to play something completely against your type?
Yeah. Well, that's a great question, Lester. It really is, because I waited months for the casting director to actually pick me for that character after I auditioned, because they knew me from actors around town in our groups, and they knew just what you said, that Lorayn's too sweet. How is she going to play this? She's so nice. Everybody loves her.
Yeah.
How could she get that evil energy out? And I spoke with the director, Victoria M. Moore, who is fabulous, by the way. She wrote this film, and it's basically a true story, a personal story, you know, about how this seamstress tried to fit into this upper class life. And what holds her back is her family curse. All right. And that's my curse. I'm her grandmother. And I have this family curse. I'm the witch.
You ain't old enough to be no grandmother. I don't believe it. Horrible
I'm the
casting.
young grandmother.
Horrible casting.
I don't believe it either.
No, but go ahead.
Well, I'm glad you said that. Thank you very much. The one thing I had was the hair. And then I auditioned and I got my evil out. What you were saying, Lester. I thought about this. I said, you know what? Everybody has pain. Everybody does. I mean, I have this attitude because I worked on it. I can go worries. I have a lot of pain too, which I won't go into now in my past and different things. But I delve down to this pain. And my friend Julian Brittano, who's in the movie, we have a scene with, which I won't tell you. It's an amazing, stunning scene, crazy. I won't give it away. But he called me right before shooting. He goes, Lorayn, I think this could be your breakout role. I think that if you find the pain, you know, in yourself, you're going to be the witch. You're going to do it. And that's all I needed to hear. He said, I know it. I know you can do it. And I did. And I worked on building the character and building all the different ways. And how I did it, Lester, was I said, okay, this is a woman who could be any woman. She has a heart. She loves her family. But she was overlooked for too long. Okay. Mm-hmm. And if you're overlooked for too long, and talking about, you know, African Americans, talking about women, you know, sometimes you're overlooked. And if it happens too long and you take it so much, you can't take it anymore. Sometimes it comes out. So I found a way to find that pain, get in touch with it, and then have it come out. But I wanted to show the humanness, the humanity in the pain, so that you can love her too. She does despicable things, I'm not gonna lie. And it's just awful. I mean, I was scared. I cried.
What kind of movie?
What's that?
What kind of movie is this? No, I'm just
It's actually a thriller. It's a horror film.
I'm crazy.
Oh, really? It's a horror film. It's a feature film that'll be out October 2021 with the DP Darren. He is just awesome. Anyway, you're gonna see it in the theaters if we go to the theaters. Otherwise, it'll be on Netflix. We have 2 investors from London already, and they're on board, and it's getting a lot of buzz. So I basically had to say that when I always play strong characters, strong, powerful women, whether I was the Captain Marconi in To Serve and Protect, that crime drama that Lester actually was in. That's where we met, Lester.
Oh, really?
Yes, yeah. yes.
Coming soon.
Oh yeah, that's
cool.
Coming soon. Yeah, you're gonna see
it.
that too. That was awful. All these things. So now with this witch, I wanted the witch. They offered me the song. I said, no, I'm the witch. And that's that. And I showed the director, I showed her the witch by talking to her. And then I would send her little videos, snippets of videos of what I thought the witch was. And she would get on her phone, this like 5-second thing. She must have thought I was crazy, you know? Yeah. But look at that. She said, Lorayn, you blew me away. It's you. You've got it. So yeah. Here I was. Now, to what you were saying, Cylk, 2 hours in makeup with latex and all kinds of things to make me look older and witchy. With wizards. These 2 wizards, Megan Deputy and Jennifer Yates, they worked with me to make me, to make me that way, with the blood and the scars and the teeth. Everything was awful. It was so uncomfortable, let me tell you. But it added to it. It added to my pain.
Al Pacino is an American actor and filmmaker from East Harlem, New York. In a career spanning over 5 decades, he has received many awards and nominations, including an Academy Award, 2 Tony Awards, and 2 Primetime Emmy Awards. He is one of the few performers to have received the Triple Crown of Acting.
On this team, we fight for that itch. On this team, we tear ourselves and everyone else around us to pieces for that itch. We claw with our fingernails for that itch. Because we know when we add up all those inches, that's gonna make the fucking difference between winning and losing. Between living and dying. I'll tell you this, in any fight, it's the guy who's willing to die who's gonna win that itch.
I became a fan of Al Pacino when I watched him play the role of Bobby in the 1971 movie Panic in Needle Park. It was his first movie. I knew after watching that movie that Al Pacino was a god at acting. That movie caught the attention of Francis Ford Coppola, the director of The Godfather. Because Al Pacino was an unknown actor, the studio didn't want to give him the lead role as Michael Corleone, but Coppola fought for Pacino, and in 1972, Pacino starred in the classic hit movie The Godfather. Some of my favorite movies starring Al Pacino are Scarface, and Justice for All, Sea of Love, and Donnie Brasco. Thank you, Al Pacino, for raising the bar.
Thank you for joining us on the Highlight Reel. I am your host, Naz Panky.
And I'm Lester Green.
Listen, we have something special for you next week, part 2 of Cylk and Lorayn. You don't want to miss it. But until then, peace, love, and popcorn.
And popcorn.